I'm gonna put this question to both of you because what you're doing in the market, it would be considered it's a mixture of being disruptive but also integrating into existing operations, for lack of a better word. And Robert, maybe I'll start with you and then back over to James. Is why? That everybody has a different motivation. I mean, this is a big undertaking that you've done, and and going over to New Zealand and meeting with James and integrating all this in. This is not a simple thing. This is not, oh, someone invented something, we're going to put a label on it and we're pushing it out into the market. You've got big goals. We're going to talk a little. You already touched on that. Working with the OEMs and that. But what is the big motivation behind that? From day one.
So for me personally, it certainly was community focused. Empowering communities through innovation is a big part of what ZeroNox does. Why we started was specifically to empower our ag community here locally. In the valley, we have one of the worst air qualities in the nation. We get all that smog dumped on,
Yeah.
coming from LA, right? And so taking the kind of the lifeblood of our community, which is agriculture, which is a big pollutant, right? And trying to figure out how we could make that better and not just cleaner, but a higher performing way. That was initially why we started the company, and it certainly has evolved quite a bit since then,
Right.
and our vision has grown. But our roots are still in ag and supporting the community that supported us. You think about where we all came from. You look back, and if you have gratitude towards that, then you want to figure out a way to help and support what was given to you and where you came from. And so that's kind of where ZeroNox started from, and certainly this journey has grown in scope since then and evolved tremendously. But the roots are empowering communities, through these innovations.
I distinctly, there's a few key moments, and I need to start actually writing them down, sort of in our business. And I was walking with my wife, and I said, I need, I was good at getting things done, not great at setting up partnerships. I said, I need to learn how to make partnerships happen. I can get in the door, but I need to actually learn to make them sustainable. And I learned very quickly once I focused on that, it really is a skill set. Now, some people are naturally better at it, but you going over to New Zealand, I mean, 10 other people could go and not end up where you are. 10 other people, I'm sure James has had other people talk to him. And what is it that you think you personally or your team, or what is it that you think makes people say, yeah, I'll work with you and I'll trust you with my technology?
I think a lot of it comes down to integrity, and like you said, the personal touch of actually going and speaking to somebody in person, and knowing who you are and where you came from. I I'm not an engineer. I don't have a background in electric vehicles or technology or anything like that. But I do care about people. I do care about my community, and I think when I talk to people, they understand that, and it makes a difference. And if you can get people to believe what you say, and you can back up what you say through execution, then like you talked about, those strategic partnerships. I mean, the reason that we're so successful is because we've been able to surround ourselves with extremely smart people, such as James. Right? There's no innovation that's coming through someone like me who's not inventing something. Right? I'm a relationships and ideas person. But you need all those different aspects for a business to really be successful. From the inventor, the thinker, the doer, the executor, the galvanizer that's getting people to get behind it, the discerner to make sure what we're doing makes sense. I mean, all that flows into kind of the success of a business, and you need all those different aspects,
Yeah.
to see it come through.
And James, what about you? I mean, this has been a long journey. You're on our show now. You've your products going to market. But those, I mean, it almost gives me a headache just even thinking about something not working. I look at it and I'm like, I'm calling somebody to help me fix it. I'm one of those people. Is it, are you just wired different? How do you keep at something like that? A lot of people would see someone like you and go, "Oh, that's great. either they dismiss it as it's not as hard, like, well, if I really applied myself, I could do it. There's those types of people. Then there's other people, they don't even understand how you can keep at something that you started in 2006. It's just not on their radar to do it. So is it natural, or do you still have the days where you just like, I'm going to call it quits and I'm just going to focus in on what I already know and make a living and call it a day? Is it tempting to quit, or was that never even an option for you?
Well, in the beginning, um, it's the idea and the concept stage. It's exciting when you start thinking about it.
Yeah.
When you start doing it, yeah, it can be extremely frustrating. It really can. But what something happens along that way. Um, the the invention, the innovation, it starts to become part of you. And so giving up on it does not, it would be like me giving up on myself in everyday life. And it's, it's not an option at that point. So yeah, there is a level of obsession that takes place, um, to achieve the actual product, to the positive results, thing that everybody wants to see. There is, yeah, it's probably it next to my son being born. Yeah, it's definitely it, it's right up there with same importance level. And um, yeah, I can't ever describe how hard it's been. I really can't.
And is there when you see it, and when you see now a company like ZeroNox, and we're gonna, Robert, I want to jump in. I actually want to go through, just sort of, we already touched on a bit of the goal, but I want to go through some of your product lines because I don't want to end the show without that. But when you're now part of a company and you can see that, okay, now there's actually a path forward. I mean, is it, like you said, next to your son being born. I mean, it is, and it is. I understand that part of it. That part I can get, is when you put that much into it, what it means, um, just to see it actually come to fruition. But I guess for you also now, it probably opens the door to be able to sort of expand and try new things. You touched on, obviously, we're not gonna break them live on the show or anything, but
No.
now it kind of opens up that opportunity to try new things, which you touched on in the beginning.
Yeah, there's probably 10 more systems and ideas and concepts. Some spawn from the original ideas, and then
Yeah.
some are new, completely new. Um, what it did is, the education it took to create this
Right.
particular system, expanded my knowledge in the field, and has made it possible to come up with other concepts. So it
Yeah.
just sort of grows on each other. And yeah, it's terrifying how much time.
It's like you're reliving it right now. You're like,
Yeah, I am really. I'm going through it all in my head right now. I'm thinking back. Holy cow! Hundreds of hours,
yeah,
thousands of hours,
yeah,
reading like every single like research paper, and on like a million different things in order to get to like one conclusion. It's mind numbing. Yeah.
yeah.
You asked that question, and then all of a sudden it just all flooded back to me. I
Flashbacks.
said, "Holy cow, that's where the last 16 years went."
Yeah. Well,
It was-
my apologies.